Many places are either doubling down on lengthy quarantine requirements or reimposing restrictions as COVID-19 cases spike. Border closures and quarantine rules change frequently. However, there are quite a few countries currently open to both tourism and business travel, many with no restrictions whatsoever. A number of them require either a negative test just before travel or upon arrival, but as long as visitors don't test positive, no quarantine is necessary. Today we will be looking at top 9 countries to visit without COVID restrictions.
But before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification button. Number 1 on the list is Ukraine, located in Eastern Europe, the second largest on the continent after Russia. Ukraine is accepting international tourists. It classifies countries into red and green zones, depending on which travelers meet with testing and quarantine regulations. While no self-isolation is required for travelers from green zones, if you are traveling from red zones you can evade the mandatory 14-day quarantine by undertaking a COVID-19 test within 48 hours of your due arrival. Valid health insurance from any Ukrainian firm or a foreign company with a branch in Ukraine, as available on the official website, must be availed of before traveling. Number 2. Tanzania is located on the eastern coast of Africa and has an Indian Ocean coastline. Tanzania, a tourism favorite because of its incredible African safaris, Tanzania is accepting U.S. citizens and other international travelers without testing or quarantine requirements. The only exceptions would be those whose airline or country of origin specifically requires a certificate of negative COVID-19 testing as a condition for traveling. Health screening measures are in place at airports and other ports of entry, and passengers demonstrating symptoms must undergo enhanced screening and possible testing upon arrival. All arrivals will need to complete a health surveillance form while en route for submission to port health authorities. Number 3. Brazil is the largest country in both South America. Brazil is a vast and fascinating country that needs no introduction. It has also taken quite a relaxed approach to the pandemic. Whatever one might say about the wisdom in that, it means that the country is open for business to a large degree, and visitors have been welcomed without special requirements for months now, at least when arriving by air. There are quite a few flights available to Brazil, though less than pre-COVID times. It's possible to fly to Sao Paulo from Miami, Dallas and New York, though not every day, and to Rio de Janeiro from Houston. Routes to both are also available via Panama. There are plenty of flights from Europe too. Sao Paulo is linked non-stop with London, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, Zurich, and Lisbon, and Rio with Amsterdam, Lisbon, and Paris. Number 4. South Africa is located at the southernmost region of Africa. Travelers arriving in South Africa must be in possession of a valid certificate of a negative COVID-19 test obtained not more than 72 hours before the date of travel. In the event of failure to submit a certificate as proof of a negative COVID-19 test, such traveler will be required to do an antigen test at his or her own cost, and if he or she tests positive to COVID-19, he or she will be required to quarantine at his or her own costs. However, be advised that travelers from high-risk countries traveling to South Africa for non-essential tourism purposes will not be granted entry. Number 5. Dominican Republic is located on the island of Hispaniola, between the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. The only thing that's new about entering the Dominican Republic these days is that a small percentage of arriving passengers will be given a quick breath test, and temperature screenings are in place. However, there is no need to bring a negative PCR test, and no quarantine requirements of any kind. For a quick and easy escape from the US, the Dominican Republic is hard to beat, and by now they have plenty of experience accepting tourists during the pandemic, so its unlikely requirements will suddenly change. Most days see plenty of flights to the largest airport at Santo Domingo, between 3 and 6 daily from New York, for example, plus others from Miami, Fort Lauderdale and even San Juan. Popular beach destination Punta Cana has service from New York, Miami, and Fort Lauderdale as well. Number 6. Costa Rica is a republic in Central America on the Isthmus of Panama. Americans from all 50 states are allowed to enter Costa Rica. This was previously limited to certain states only, and visitors are no longer required to bring proof of a negative COVID-19 test. Just make sure to have full travel insurance when you go. Costa Rica is a peaceful and beautiful country with jungles, volcanoes and beaches, a number of eco-friendly resorts and more. It has taken a cautious, responsible approach to opening up so far. There are non-stop flights to San Jose, the capital, from Newark, Houston, Fort Lauderdale and Miami. You can also reach Liberia, a popular gateway for vacation travelers, from Houston and Miami. Number 7. Uganda is located in eastern Africa, west of Kenya. Quarantine is not required for arriving foreign nationals who have a negative PCR COVID-19 test result done by an accredited laboratory in the country of origin, unless the person exhibits signs or symptoms of an infectious disease. Such individuals will be transported to an isolation center for a COVID-19 test where they must remain, at their own cost, until the results of the test are received. Travelers who test positive will be taken to a Ministry of Health facility for treatment, or given the option to be repatriated, for foreigners, at their own cost. Number 8. Mexico, country of southern North America and the third largest country in Latin America. Mexico's land border with the U.S. may still be closed except to essential travel, but hop on a flight and things are almost as normal. For Americans, Mexico has the benefit of being relatively close by, inexpensive and packed with a range of things to see and do, from beach getaways to culinary adventures. There are plenty of flights to and from top Mexican destinations, especially from the U.S. For example, there are no less than 9 flights between New York and Cancun, and 4 to Mexico City. Flights to secondary cities like Dallas to Oaxaca and Houston to Puerto Vallarta are still running too. And last but not the least, Turkey is a large, roughly rectangular peninsula that bridges southeastern Europe and Asia, located on the western side of Anatolia. Turkey is another country that decided to throw open the gates to tourists during the summer. For now at least, that remains the case. For Americans yearning for Europe, but unable to get to much of it, Turkey may offer an intriguing alternative, especially along its Aegean and Mediterranean coast, where there's plenty of nice hotels, good food and more. Travelers tend to love the capital Istanbul, but the coast around Izmir and Bodrum has a number of devoted fans as well. Though it's a longer trip than the others on this list, Americans have plenty of options for getting to Turkey, including several non-stops on Turkish Airlines. San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York and Miami are among the cities with direct flights. So, if you liked our video, please do well to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification button.